Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about why we do what we do, considering conspiracy theories and stuff. But before I get into that, I'm going to highlight an American company. As you know, I like to put a spotlight on American companies who produce products in America, create American jobs, uh, strengthen our economy. And I think that's really important, and we need to support these companies. Um, those companies over there in China, they don't need any more of our support. So I think we need to shift some of our dollars over to these good American companies. And this company today is called Proper Tool Company, and they're named Proper Tool Company, but they're actually right now they're an organization company, like a tool organizing company. That's what they producing right now. What they're producing right now are like tool organizers. You can get specialized organization kits for big brands like Milwaukee, DeWalt, or Makita. It's like stuff you put in your garage or whatever, or I could hang in my van. And I personally haven't ordered anything from them yet, but it, from what I've seen, it looks like a good company, and they're based in America. They manufacture their goods in America, and they're at least worth looking at if you're interested in that type of stuff. All right. So why why do we get into this whole conspiracy theory thing, right? Into these different conspiracy theories. For one, I understand. I see the temptation, the joy, kind of the fun we can have, like playing a game of Clue and going down the rabbit hole, these different rabbit holes, and investigating this stuff. I mean, it's fun. I've investigated some of this stuff and looked into it shallowly. I don't go real deep down any particular rabbit hole, but I've seen people that do, and I get quite a few comments about this kind of stuff, and it really, I really have a difficult time understanding where certain people are coming from, because I've actually been told, like, I have no idea what I'm talking about when I say certain things, and that's one thing I kind of wanted to clear up right here for my subscribers and stuff. I don't have any idea what I'm talking about. I know this. All I know is what someone else has told me. I've read things that other people have written, and they learned those things by reading what other people have written. But all the other knowledge, the other 90 something percent of knowledge I have in my head, I learned from someone else. Someone else taught me that. Someone else told me that. I read a book that someone else wrote that was their opinion, or a bunch of stuff they learned from someone else. It just goes back down the chain. So at least I think that I'm aware enough to be able to admit that, well, I don't know. I don't I don't know for a fact. I don't know anything. I question everything. You tell me something that I haven't experienced with my own two eyes and my own five senses, then I don't know. I know you told me. That's all I know. I know I read that in a book or on that web page or I watched that video. That's all I know. I don't know if what that person was saying was true. I don't know. So why do we get into this, go down one rabbit hole and just adopt that belief, okay, and make that our entire sphere of knowledge and reject everything else? Then the whole thing with the elites, the elites at the top, the very top, who are controlling everything below them. The people who own the central banks, say. Now, some people believe that they're the English monarchy. Some people believe that the English monarchy are psychic vampires. Some people believe they're lizard people. They're some kind of lizard men or something. Some people believe they're a satanic cult. Some people believe they're cannibalistic demons or something. There's so many different beliefs in who is controlling things from the top down. Some people believe that it's just psychic vampire lizards who are attaching themselves to the different people in control. Different people at the top of the financial food chain. These psychic vampire lizards attach themselves from another dimension. Now, I don't know if any of those are true or if any of those are false. I can't say. Some people want to blame it on one race of people. Some people want to blame it on theology and say it's pure Satanism and demons. It's just demons. Some people, the list goes on, right, of who is controlling things. I don't know. I probably don't know half the list. Just the major ones. But I run across these things on the internet once in a while, and I see them, and they're interesting. Okay, maybe, whatever. I mean, I saw that picture of King Charles, and it looks demonic. The painting he had done. I mean, it looks pure evil. All the red, and it looks like fire and blood, and so that makes me question, why the hell would a monarch of a country have himself painted in that way? That's just kind of odd to me. But I can't just dive headfirst into it and 100% believe with all of my heart and soul that he's a pure demon from the bowels of hell. I don't know. I have trouble with that. So I take everything with a grain of salt. I do not completely reject the fact that he's not a pure demon from the bowels of hell. I don't know what he is. I don't know if he exists, to be honest. I'm just being realistic. I don't know. I've seen more pictures of aliens and videos of aliens than I have seen of the British monarchy. I don't know that they exist any more than I know that aliens do. I know I've seen them, pictures of them and videos of them on the internet. I've never shaken hands or spoken to one of them. I don't know. Not for sure. So if somebody told me, hey, does the British monarchy doesn't even exist, I'd be like, I don't know. So and that's another one. Is it aliens controlling the world? Or is it some ancient people who live underground? These are all conspiracy theories that people buy into 100% heart and soul. They know for a fact that it's aliens. That we're being controlled by aliens. Or maybe 100% that we're being controlled by aliens. And my point is, in this video, is why are we like this? Why do we do this? Why do we go down this rabbit hole, one particular rabbit hole, and just invest everything into it? And then get angry at someone else who either doesn't buy into it or has bought into something else or has a different opinion or questions your belief on that. All right? It's fun, but it's not going to change anything. The why of it isn't going to, why are they controlling everything with these banks? Because they want to siphon off our spiritual energy, because they're vampiring off of our psychic energy, because they're actual, sucking people's blood or something, because they're harvesting people and taking them back to Nibiru. why, it doesn't matter. None of that matters at all if you think about it. The only thing that matters is that it's happening. They're controlling us from the top down through these central banks. And each nation in Western civilization has to take control of their country again. They have to rebel against this. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter who's doing it, why they're doing it, any of that shit. The fact is that they're doing it. And to get angry at each other and argue over the who and the why isn't getting us anywhere. That's part of their plan to divide us. We're just feeding right into their plan. I'm mad at you because you don't think that it's aliens, because you think that the British monarchy are vampires, but I know, and it's perfectly obvious that it's aliens. It's got nothing to do with the British Empire. And I'm picking on the British Empire because I've happened to have heard so many different theories about the British Empire, how they're lizard people and all this other stuff. And I don't mean to laugh at it if you're one of the ones who believe that. I'm just saying that I've heard a bunch of different ones. That's what I'm laughing at, the fact that I've heard so many different ones about the British Empire. So I would just like all of us to take a breath and to think that, just to realize that just because someone believes something else doesn't mean, A, that you're wrong. All right? And just because you believe something doesn't mean that you're right. You're going off of something that someone else told you. Yes, they can provide a bunch of evidence, but I can provide lots of evidence that I don't exist. There's tons of evidence out there that I don't exist at all, that you're not watching this video. You know what I'm saying? You can provide evidence for literally anything, and lots of it. But that's not proof. Until we have proof in front of our faces that we can touch and hear and see ourselves, we're just going off a hearsay that's, conjecture that someone else came up with. We don't know if they're lying, what their agenda is. Are they just fear-mongering, looking for clicks? Did they just invent the thing out of their head and, just decide to make a career of it? There are so many reasons that a person could come up with a conspiracy theory and start promoting it that it doesn't make sense to buy into one unless you're doing the creation and the promoting for self-serving reasons. I get that. But to buy into one that someone else has created, I have trouble with that. I have trouble buying into that because everyone has an agenda. And if you just think about it for 5 seconds, you'll realize that whatever site or video or whatever source wherever your information came from, that person is either trying to make money, get famous, get recognition. Maybe they, honest to goodness, learned this stuff from somebody else, and they are really honestly trying to wake people up. But that still doesn't make it true. Because if you think about it, with us and our beliefs and all these different conspiracy theories and stuff, we're still asleep. We think we're awake. I look at myself and I think I'm awake. But when I really start thinking about it, I don't know. I don't know how 50, 75% of the things I think I know, I really don't know. It's just hearsay. It's just circumstantial evidence that someone else has posted or written or said. I'm just going off of what other people have told me. And once I realize that, then I just keep questioning everything. I can't, not necessarily, not in a bad way, but I just take everything with a grain of salt. Okay, we'll see if that actually comes to pass. We'll see if that's actually true. I'm going to wait and reserve judgment until I see something actually happen, instead of jumping out with a bunch of stuff and making myself look like an idiot by saying a bunch of stuff online or to somebody that is completely preposterous and will come out later to be ridiculous. Right? Which I have done. I am guilty of that. I've been completely honest with you. In my youth, I fell for shit. It took me decades to wake up and to realize the truth of things, which is we don't know the truth. No one does. Except the people who are up there. They know whether they're a lizard man or a psychic vampire or an alien. Only they know. And they're not down here just walking amongst us poor people, us poor working people, telling us. So fighting and bickering over this kind of stuff is a waste of time. It's feeding into their plans of division. I'm not saying don't believe in it. Believe it if you want. If that's your thing, go ahead. I'm not trying to talk you out of anything. I'm just saying when the next person says that they don't, then don't get upset. If you think about it, there's no reason to get upset. Hey, you believe what you want to believe. There's so many different versions of different things out there. Was Abraham Lincoln a good guy or a bad guy? Hell, I've been taught my entire life up until recently, in the last few years, that Abraham Lincoln was a good guy. Now I'm hearing stuff and reading stuff and that he wasn't as good as we were taught. So, I mean, and then the good guy thing is something somebody else told me, and the bad guy thing is something somebody else told me. So which one do I believe? I take them both with a grain of salt now. I don't know which one is true. I do not know. I was not there. I was not in his war councils, helping him make plans. I do not know. He didn't confide in me because I wouldn't be born for almost another 100 years. So I have no idea. All I know is what somebody else has told me. And I'm sure on both sides, good guy, bad guy, both sides, the person who told me honestly believed what they were saying. They thought it to be true. So what do you do? But I guarantee you I'm not going to get upset at someone who says he was a good guy, and I'm not going to get upset at someone who says he's a bad guy. I don't give a shit what the next man believes, what the next person believes. Believe what you want. The same thing with World War II. Is it what we were taught it was? I don't know. There's lots of stuff coming out. The most compelling evidence that I have for it is that Candace Owens got kicked off of YouTube for talking about it. That's the most compelling evidence I've seen. And I know that she's not on YouTube anymore because I can see it with my own eyes. She's on Rumble. If you like Candace Owens and you want to watch her podcast, she's on Rumble now if you haven't heard. I watch her every morning. So the whole thing that, when you have, and that's secondhand proof. Okay, back to my video on censorship. She was censored for talking about it. What was she saying that the powers that be don't want you to hear? So they completely deplatformed her from YouTube. So she's over on Rumble now, as I said earlier. They didn't just refuse to air one of her videos, or, demonetize a video or two, or demonetize her. They completely deplatformed her. She's not allowed on YouTube anymore. So that, to me, is some evidence that's happening right now in the real world. Not some stuff that somebody else told me. I can see for myself. She's not on YouTube anymore. So, now the reason she's not on YouTube anymore, I heard from her. She said it. So there you go. But we gotta stop with the division. If there's anything you take away from any of my videos, it's let's stop allowing them to divide us. For any reason, if you find yourself getting angry at someone else for something they said or something they believe or whatever the random reason is, just take a step back. Even if it's after you get angry at them for a few minutes and the conversation's been over and you're off doing the dishes or whatever, give it some thought. Should I have been angry at that person? Should I allow these things to divide us? Because when you get down to the core of it, you both want the same thing: freedom. Freedom for your children, for your grandchildren, freedom for your country. You want money. You want prosperity. Prosperity for yourself, your children, your grandchildren, for your country, for your countrymen, for your brothers and sisters, your family. Everyone wants those same basic things. So to allow ourselves to be divided with all this weird shit and all these weird ideologies and all these weird ideas, we really need to step back away from this stuff and consider the possibility that this might be by design. Maybe these conspiracy theories are promoted in certain sections on social media, right? As if you're a conservative, they might post that Generation X Eskimos are bad people. And if you're liberal, they might, raise the idea that Generation X Eskimos are good people. So then they can argue over that. And if you convince people of different beliefs, of different skin colors, of different genders, of different, separate people however you want, and you can convince those two groups through algorithms. Women watch these kind of videos, so in these kind of videos you promote this idea. Men watch these kind of videos, and these kind of videos you promote this idea. And then you get men and women at odds, which I see all the time online. Men and women at odds. Of every race, religion, whatever. Men and women at odds. Now, why is this happening? Is this just a natural, organic thing that's never happened before in the history of mankind, but all of a sudden it's happening now? And then again, they promote an idea that a certain group of people are bad, right? So then, and they conflate that government with all of the people. So then you're mad at all of the people for something that their government has done, either in the past or they're doing now. And that's what happened with America too. That's why everyone hates America. You can say what you want. I know that people around the world hate America because we've been over there with tanks and bombs and guns. That's why they hate America, because our government has killed their family members. Not for any other reason. The common person on the ground over there in whatever country doesn't hate America because we're Christians or whatever. They hate America because we've had tanks rolling down their streets for the last 20 years. We've been drone striking schools and shit over there. And they hate America, and a lot of them hate all Americans because they just conflate our government with us. They don't know we're over here fighting our own battle against our government, trying to get them to stop that shit. It's the same thing with other governments around the country. We hate a certain entire group of people for what their government has done. Think about that. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll leave that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. Thank you very much for those of you who do that. If you're interested in Gen X gear, you can head over to Redbubble and check out what we have over there. Pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff. But I'll put that link down in the description as well. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a lot. Thank you very much to those of you who do that. I really appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us in the emails over on the channel page. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.